And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Well, welcome.
I keep waiting for the screen.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't happen.
Can I do this?
Yes. Go ahead, Ken.
What if you?
I don't know. Can you do that?
I'm just gonna leave it like this and see how it. No,
Balancing
that
time.
really doesn't work, does
It
it?
doesn't work that way. No.
It was
But
balancing
Tom,
time.
if you feel like you're gonna be long-winded, I'll just go like this.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. You know what? I don't think we're going to have that problem today.
I don't either.
You know, it's funny that Lisa and I were talking about this today, and when we are on in consecutive days, the second day of the consecutive days is always like, okay,
What are we going to talk
what are we
about?
going to talk about today? You know, because it's not as easy to be coming up with this
It's
stuff.
not. But we knew we had
So thank you
Ken.
for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
But then we said, well, we got Ken.
We have
so,
Ken.
You know, that'll
And
be
he'll have great things.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
So, okay, well, we've already turned over our stopwatch thing here, so our time clock, whatever you want to call this
Whatever
thing.
you want to call it.
So let's get into the trivia, because we got a good trivia question today, right?
Okay, we do. And
Can you read it, Lisa?
I'm struggling a little bit today.
So Lisa doesn't have her glasses,
I don't have
so
my glasses. I don't know how I drove here. But I did.
we might have to actually take her home. I'm not sure.
I saw a sheriff's report about a crazy woman driver.
Woo, it might have been me. I don't know. But I set my glasses, I thought, in one place last night, and I woke up and I couldn't find them, and I just couldn't keep looking, so.
She just
So
had to
I just
get
went
here.
without them.
Now, she drove to the wrong place to begin with because she couldn't see. But
It does make me think I should have two pairs of glasses, though.
Probably a good idea.
So next time,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy a second pair.
well, that would make sense.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Here we go.
I'll help you. The question's from Jim Kalaki.
It is. And the winner today is going to have a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine, okay.
Yes.
You want to, Ken, you want
Look
to
at that.
illustrate that?
What kind is it, Ken?
It is Porta Vita from Italia.
Woo!
Italian wine, 2012.
Oh, that's
It's a very good year. Better than 2020
That's for sure.
in every way imaginable.
That's for sure. I don't think I'd ever want to drink wine from 2020.
Yeah,
I think we should just skip that year, right?
that'd be so.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're probably right about
Yeah,
that.
I don't think anyone's going to pick that
Although
year of wine.
we've probably been drinking a lot of wine this year.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So.
Okay,
All
now
right.
this question.
Here's the question.
It might be easy, so I'm going to read the telephone number now, so you have that ready.
Okay.
The number to call once we open the line here, 336-389-4103. So that's to call Michelle.
Right.
I think this might be a really easy question.
And Lisa, so just for the record, nobody's called yet.
Maybe we should try it.
No.
No callers. Okay, here we go. What is the capital of Australia?
The capital
What is
of
the
Australia.
capital of Australia?
Okay.
Okay, the line to call is 336-389-4103. The line is open.
Well,
Capital
Dr.
of
Kalaki,
Australia.
I hope that you were hoping not to win this bottle of wine because I'm guessing somebody's going to guess that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just looked at the answer,
So we'll
and
see.
that wasn't what I thought it was.
Oh, she's running out of the room.
She's laughing, though. That's not good.
I'd keep calling in because that person may not be right.
It might be true.
So,
Yes. Okay.
keep calling.
All right.
You know, it's a famous Jewish thing to answer a question with a question.
Yes.
That's why Jesus did that all the time. People would ask him questions, he'd answer it with a question. And so one time this guy went to his rabbi and said, "Why do you rabbis always respond to a question with a question?" And he said, "What's wrong with responding to a question with a question?"
There you go.
So maybe Michelle will get a question.
She might. You never know.
Michelle, what do you think the answer is?
Well, that would work very well. Michelle might actually tell him. I don't know.
She might. You never know.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the coronavirus statistics. Again, we This has only been a day since yesterday, so it's, usually when I'm reporting, there's several days in between, but this is just one day's information. So, some of the information is very promising, and some of it is not so promising. It's like what we kind of found out yesterday, but so let's get into it. So, believe it or not, 35,000 tests between yesterday and today.
I don't know how they do it.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
And so get this. This is the good news. Only 1,815 positives.
Okay.
So that's 5.1%. That's the percent that we want to be at. That's the one we got to get to in order to be able to, I think, to get to phase 3 of the governor's plan. So we'll see. It's a one-day thing. We'll see if that has it's a trend that continues, but I sure hope that's the case. So just to give you the totals, we're just about at 1.5 million tests. We're 1,458,000, let's just say it's 1,459,000 completed tests. And then there's 102,861 positive cases at this point since March, I guess. Unfortunately, we've had 26 more deaths between yesterday and today. We're at 1,668. And this is the part I wasn't real happy about. The hospitalizations went back up again. So we're at 1,179 today, whereas yesterday we were at 1,086. So that's 93 more. So it's interesting. We lost 94 yesterday, and then we picked up 93 today. So it's kind of back and forth. But let's see the county statistics. Mecklenburg County is at 17,800 cases, Wake's at 9,063, Durham is at 5,169, and Forsyth and Guilford have been back and forth about one seems to be more than the other for a while, and then it seems to go back the other way. Well, Guilford's taken back over having a little bit more cases than Forsyth, but it's 4,314 versus 4,297 for Forsyth, so pretty close. And then, when we look at the nursing homes and the residential care facilities, we've actually had 100 of the 1,815 cases were nursing home and residential care facility folks this time. So we have 7,235 of the 101,000. So that's about 7% there too. So 7% of the positive cases are nursing home / residential care facility residents. We've saw an increase of 6 deaths with nursing homes and residential care facilities between yesterday and today. And that percentage, though, is still dropping. We're actually down just below 52% now, so it's continuing to drop. And unfortunately, where we had some good news as far as the outbreaks go between nursing homes and residential care facilities, we've had an increase of 9 since yesterday. So we'll just have to, unfortunately, that's just one of those things that we know that's going to keep going back and forth as communities get it more. We'll just see that increase continue to rise probably. So, but there are communities that are in that outbreak category that do come off the list. Once they go 28 days without a case, they come off that list, and so. I noticed when I was just briefly glancing at it, there was a good, even though we had a net gain, there was a good fluctuation of communities that were coming off that list and new ones that were going on, unfortunately. So, again, I think that regarding the coronavirus, it's just, we know that we just got to continue to try and manage it as best we can. We can't keep it out of here. As we mentioned yesterday, we had an employee that we knew probably was going to test positive just because of the situation with their spouse being positive, and even though they were asymptomatic, when you're that close, when you're living with somebody, it's kind of hard not to get it, I think. Yeah. So I don't know how you would stay away from it, but. Okay, Lisa, let's see, anything else from the coronavirus side of things? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so today. I think we covered most of that yesterday.
Yeah, so let me spend a couple minutes. We had talked about this, I think, last week. We did. Since I can't really do my typical semi-annual update meeting with residents, we're going to just take some pieces of that and present some of that. A lot of it we're already doing as part of the show, but because I think we're kind of constantly keeping up with things that are going on. But I thought one of the things that I haven't done in a while that I thought might be good to talk with residents about a little bit and kind of updating them is just how we're doing on occupancy. I think that's an interesting way to be able to talk about and keep everybody up to speed a little bit. So as of this week, we still have 467 residents in the future, believe it or not.
Wow.
467. That's 450 residents in the future that have paid $1,000 and want to come into the community eventually or have expressed interest in that. We have 5 that are 10% depositors that we have addresses for. So we know where they're going to be going into or where homes they're going to be going to. And then we have 12 other ones who have paid 10% down that are depositors, but we do not have an address for them yet. These are folks that are kind of in the bullpen, so to speak, waiting to come into the community, just like everybody else was at one time. Mm-hmm. So still having a very good and healthy resident of future list with 467. And then just from an occupancy standpoint, we're doing very well. Remember, with the new cottages and with the new hybrid apartments, we went from being at 298 total independent living homes to 356. And so we had a net gain of 58 there. We don't count the 2 units that are the guest suite or the marketing suite that we have. So really we're at 354 possible homes that could be occupied at this point. And according to our snapshot of our weekly marketing report, we're at 349 of 354 are actually occupied at this point. So doing very well from an occupancy standpoint on the independent living side. Continue to be strong in our occupancy on the healthcare center side. Assisted living is, we've got a lot of couples in there, as we know. Okay. So we know we've got a lot of folks in Muirfield. St. Andrews is full at this point. And Pebble Beach is going through a little bit of a transition, just from a construction standpoint because of working now. The construction has moved to the Pebble Beach, what was the Pebble Beach dining room, which we don't need anymore because we have the new bistro and the new kitchen. So they've been renovating, pretty much demolishing everything that was in that old kitchen and that old dining area, and so they've been pulling all that out. We're going to have six new rooms going in there. And remember, those are not an ad because eventually, at some point, we're going to be taking 6 apartments away or 6 rooms away on Pebble Beach 2 on that hallway going to Wingfoot. But all that to say, we've got good occupancy in the Pebble Beach area too. I think we're 40 out of 42 there. And I say 42 because 2 units have been pulled out because of this current construction thing. That's where I was going with this, was that while we're in construction at this point, we had to take 2 of the units, 2 of the rooms out of circulation because we needed that to be able to have a way for emergency exits coming out of Pebble Beach 1 and Pebble Beach 2. So, and then Wingfoot, we right now, the long-term care side of Wingfoot is pretty full. I think we're 7 out of 8 there. And then, I think you all know this, we've been saying this all along, we've been keeping the other side as kind of our COVID unit, our COVID-ready unit, and we really, fortunately, and I'm going to knock wood here, we haven't really needed it for a lot of the COVID stuff because we haven't had any residents that have been COVID positive at this point. So we've got a lot, if that's where we have a lot of empty beds right now. But we're obviously playing this from it's better to be safe than sorry thing, and so we've got those beds at the moment, and we haven't changed our strategy as far as that goes. But, from an occupancy standpoint, we're doing very well. I think it's really good news. I mean, if I was presenting this as a part of my normal presentation, I would say that we are brimming with residents at this point. It's great that we've got so many folks here. So. It's part of our family, and now we've got an extended family. This would have been the first meeting with all the extended folks coming in and the new folks, and So I will ask you this at home. So if you have just joined us in the last 8 months, stand up out of your chair if you're watching, and everybody else give them a hand, okay? Because these are all our new folks, right, coming in, and so
It's a good-looking group, too.
it is a good-looking group. We can see you through the camera.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. We really can't. I don't want anybody calling up and saying, "Wait a minute, you can see into our homes."
No,
We really can't.
no,
I'm
we
teasing
can't.
about that, but our occupancy looks very strong at the moment, and so we're very happy about that. Okay,
Sounds good.
that's the occupancy report. And I'll probably do a financial update sometime maybe next week.
Sounds good.
We'll do the same thing with
Okay.
doing financials too.
And we'll give you all a heads up of when we're on the show next week.
Yeah,
So you'll
once
know
we figure
when
it
to
out.
tune in. Yep. Or when to tune out. So, okay. Well, we had an exciting little tour yesterday, Tom.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got invited to go over and see you all know about the 400 homes that are being built across the street from us. And it's a variety of single-family homes that families can buy. There's single-family homes that people can rent. There's townhouses over there. There's apartments over there as well. I think they're even going to have some duplexes over there as well. So we have had some conversations back and forth with the builder and the developer, and so we got a chance to go over yesterday and get a chance to tour. Now, we only toured the single-family rental homes,
Right.
which if you're riding along Sandy Ridge Road and the houses that back up, the smaller homes that all clump together that back up Sandy Ridge, those are the rental homes. Those homes are only for rent, they're not for sale. But they do have a sign up that says for sale, and you have to go back into the property, and then you'll see larger homes kind of in the back center of their property. And those are the homes that they've had for sale. And then they're starting the townhomes. You can see that when if you look out over our entrance as you're going out Lynx Drive right now, you can see where they're building some of the townhomes as well. But they're doing extremely well, even with COVID-19 going on. They're doing extremely well. The single-family homes that they're selling, they've said they've sold 49 of the 51 that they have, and they're getting ready to open up their next phase of that. I think altogether, it's roughly 100 homes, is what I think I heard from them. The leasing on the single-family homes is going well. They have a one-bedroom, one-bath garage unit, I think,
Right,
is their
right.
smallest one. That's
Yep.
very popular, apparently. And then their three-bedroom ranch with 2.5 baths is very popular. But they also have a couple other models as well. And then I think they haven't really done a whole lot with trying to get renters for the townhomes, because those are just getting started.
Right,
And the
right.
apartment building hasn't even been started
even-
yet at this point. So. But it was great to see that. As a matter of fact, we've gotten some information from them. If anybody is interested, not so much for you personally, but
if you
you
know
have
somebody.
family members or friends or
Right,
somebody that's
right.
looking for, I mean, they even do, I think, shorter-term rentals
They
over
do,
there.
they do.
We heard somebody that was in a 6-month rental, I think
Right,
is
because
what
they
they
were
said.
building their own house and needed somewhere to be for a
That's
few
right.
months, so a lot of good options.
Now, their rentals aren't cheap,
They're not.
which I actually was very happy about. I mean, the one-bedroom, one-bath, Lisa, was $1,400 a month.
$1,400 and some change.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it wasn't
yes.
cheap. And the three-bedroom ones were going for $2,000 a month.
Right.
So they're not inexpensive for sure. But what I liked about that is I think for us here, we've always had that worry of, is this going to potentially bring down the value of our neighborhood by having this mixed housing across the street from us? And I don't see that because I think that, everything they're doing, first of all, everything they're doing is very quality conscious. They've got really great rules in place. We were looking and talking to them about some of the rules and procedures they have especially for the rentals. And so I think they're doing a good job. And I think that's, we're going to be, I think we're going to be okay with them as our neighbors across the way. So.
And I could see the benefit, Amy and Martha have had folks that have sold their home before their home here was ready.
Yeah.
So if they could move into one of those rental areas, even if it is for 6 months.
Sure.
They're right here connected with our community too.
Yeah.
So I could see it could be a benefit to some of our folks.
So the other thing they told us yesterday, and I think this is worth repeating, is that They're going to be doing they are responsible for doing some road widening right out where Lynx is.
Right.
Because that's where one of their entrances is. And so they are going to be creating a right turn only into their property coming from High Point, coming up Sandy Ridge Road. And Johnson, you'll have to turn, they'll create a right turn lane.
Mm-hmm.
They also, though, are going to be creating a left turn lane coming into Lynx Drive right there. So I don't know if that's going to be temporary until.
I don't know either.
Because I got the
Until
impression when we talked to the state,
Sure.
that was not really going to be a turn lane there. But it sounds like, at least for a little while, we're going to get the benefit of that until they actually do the road out front in Sandy Ridge Road. And your guess is as good as mine as to how soon they're going to do that. Because the state does not have the funding for this anymore. And we don't think that our road is the highest priority at this point. It's a priority, but I don't think it's the highest priority.
It should be. But
It
it's
should
not.
be, but it won't be. And I
Right.
think there are roads that are worse than that, with Sandy Ridge Road out there.
Yep.
So we could be years and years away at this point from them actually doing it. I just haven't heard much of an update about that. Everything's really been pretty much put on hold. But we thought we would want to just share a little bit about the homes. And at least I thought the homes are very nicely
They
decorated.
were, just nicely designed inside, too. The floor plans were great.
Yeah.
The finishings
Yeah.
were beautiful.
And when you see one, you've seen them all.
You have.
Because
They're very consistent.
Their philosophy there is they use the same appliances, they use
Mm-hmm.
the same backsplash, they use the same granite, they use the same cabinets.
Right.
And when they have a problem or when they're renting, when somebody's moving out, they can easily just go ahead and pull from their
Right,
inventory
right.
to put a next one in. So
Yep.
they can turn them over quickly that way. And I get it. That's part of their business and how to do that. So. But it was good. I thought it was good for us to go over and see it. But like I said, if anybody wants to see some of that information, we got a small little pamphlet and some pricing. We'd be
Right,
glad to
right.
share that with you.
Absolutely.
Somebody might want to buy a vacation home.
Yes.
Wouldn't have to go that far, just across the street.
And
have
just
a second
think,
home over there.
you probably wouldn't have to quarantine coming back.
Probably not.
Okay. There's always a sunny side if you think about it.
Okay, Lisa, so
Okay.
should I be helping you? Can you read the?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
So tomorrow will finally be our employee scholarship ceremony.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it at least for a week now.
Yes.
So tomorrow, 3 o'clock, don't forget to tune in. That should be really a great program. That's an annual event that we have just loved having and started it. I think this will be our fourth one.
Yes, it'll be our fourth
Right.
one.
So-
Yeah, and Michelle's been reaching out to all of our candidates, or our winners, I should say, not candidates even. And I'm hoping most of them are going to be able to come tomorrow. Okay, so far, so good. We haven't
Right,
heard anybody that
looking
said
good
they
so
aren't
far.
going to be here. So
Right.
you'll be able to get a chance to see all 10 of the winners, hopefully, tomorrow. So that'll be great. And as we said before, Wiz does a good job with that program.
does a great
So
job. Yeah.
That'll be good.
We might
good
have to
program.
raise his pay.
Yeah,
I'd
we
say
can double it.
Double
Yeah,
it?
double it.
Okay. So that, we're
He'll be
still
happy to
getting
hear
out
it.
cheap. Thank you, Wiz. We're going to double that zero.
Oh, I thought we gave him something from the creamery. Didn't we give him something from the creamery?
I don't think we give him anything.
Oh, we don't give him anything? Okay, all right.
But maybe we should give him something from the creamery.
That would be nice, don't you
I
think?
like that idea.
Why not 2 scoops this year? Let's just go all out.
Yeah, I love it.
Scoops.
And, just a shout out to our scholarship committee. They interviewed and talked to all 10 of these folks, and we've got a great scholarship committee. They did a great job, I think, working through this, so.
And you'll get to see a few of them tomorrow at
Yeah.
the ceremony.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay. Now, this is some exciting news.
Yes.
Michelle has been working really hard on
Yes.
helping us get this ready.
Yes, she has.
You all know we have a pro shop up in the clubhouse area.
Yes, we do.
That's in that far corner.
Lisa, it looks a little empty up there right now.
It does, but it won't for long.
Ah, okay.
Okay? So if anybody's gone to take a look at it, it's changing already.
It's changing.
Okay.
Yes.
Next week.
Next week. Next Wednesday, the 28th.
Wednesday, July 28th.
Actually, that's the
No.
29th. 29th, yeah.
July 29th.
Sorry.
It's clear so far.
She doesn't have her glasses, folks. She doesn't know what date it is or what.
And you never know what I typed because I typed blind as well, so I don't know.
But Lisa,
Yes.
we got some exciting news about what we're going to be
We do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Share.
so first of all, should we share what we're going to have in there?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah, I got ahead of ourselves. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we have ordered some polo shirts, some T-shirts, some jackets, hats, visors, more hats, more shirts. We have a lot of selections, and the colors are beautiful.
Yes.
From an aqua, a red, a hot pink,
Yellows.
a Carolina blue.
Yes.
Oh, somebody just cheered.
Yes.
There might be a Duke blue too. I don't know. Royal blue.
Royal,
So we could call that Duke blue, right? So, okay, we tried to represent all the local universities in that, but it's going to be pretty amazing. So next Wednesday, we're going to have our grand opening of that. So the shop will be open starting next Wednesday. And the hours up there are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday. So the only day it's different is Monday. They open a little later on Monday.
Yeah, they do.
Right, Tom?
Yeah, it's noon on Monday.
Noon on Monday.
Yeah.
So that'd be the only morning you couldn't really go in there to get anything. So that's exciting. Okay, now it's the big news.
This is the part I've been...
Wait. That's God. I've got to take this.
It's Jehovah.
It's who?
It's Jehovah.
I just said we have some big news and Kent's phone rang.
Okay, wait a minute. Why'd you hang up?
God loves to leave a voicemail for me.
But you could ask them about the vaccine.
You missed your chance.
We were that close.
Oh my God.
Close. I'm
Wow.
sorry, I was distracted
You
by the
missed
wonderful
that one.
news. I know. It's not the only one I've missed.
I love it.
Okay.
All right.
What is it?
Let's try this again.
Yes.
We have some really big news related to the store up there.
Yes.
The Pro Shop.
Yes.
Every resident
Every resident.
and staff member
Yes.
will receive 10% discount on all apparel.
Wow.
10% discount,
All right.
okay?
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
That's great.
Now, if you were a golf member,
So if you pay the membership fee for the golf cart
The
and
annual
all that
membership
good
fee.
stuff, you get 20%.
20%. Yeah.
So there's a perk to be a golf member.
Well, there is. There
You
is.
get a little more than the average staff member and resident.
Right.
You get an extra little perk.
Right.
So if you were going to buy enough apparel, it would be cheaper to go ahead and get the membership first and then
Absolutely.
get the 20%.
You know, I think
Hey.
if you buy $5,000 worth of apparel,
It's worth
it
it.
is worth it.
It's a slam
Worth
dunk.
it.
It's a slam
Well,
dunk.
maybe it's not 5,000. My math might be off there, but
It might be though.
it sounds right.
I'm worried about our coronavirus statistics now.
Well, good thing is I'm not using percentages.
Okay,
Oh, wait a
good,
minute.
yeah.
Yes, I am.
So we're very excited about this, and
Yeah.
Michelle's been working hard to get all the apparel to come in here and then processing it and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, but one point we need to share is
Okay.
that she's going to be setting that up over the next several days, all the way until next Wednesday. So we can't sell anything until next Wednesday.
Next
We
Wednesday.
want to get it all set up first before we start selling to our residents and staff.
And initially, you can only put it on your resident bill at this point.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
at some point, maybe we'll have credit cards working and different things like that if you want other options.
Right.
But right now, we are just doing resident charges.
That's correct.
Yep. And staff charges, of course, too.
Of course,
So,
of
yep.
course.
Okay, now one more exciting
Yeah,
thing.
we got all kinds of good, exciting stuff today.
I know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my phone to ring. It's not going to
I
ring
know.
again. It's a
So-
one-time shot.
So the electric for the new fountain we've been told is going in today, or they're trying to put the electric in for the new fountain today.
On hole
So-
number 9, right?
So if they can accomplish that today, we think that we can have the fountain in by the end of the week. So that'd be
Can you
fantastic.
imagine the view from the clubhouse, how that's going to look?
Yeah.
Now, what about the view as a golfer, Ken? What?
Oh, it's great because if you hit the ball just right, it'll skip off the water and onto the green. Yeah.
So it could be a help.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And then
Or
it,
if you-
it blocks the view of your ball going in the water, too. It's perfect. It's a win-win.
It's a
There we go.
win-win.
There we go.
Should be good. It should be good. Okay, Lisa.
Okay.
Questions?
Questions.
Yes.
I don't know who wrote this one. Are we really going to show Hamilton on Friday?
Who wrote that question, Lisa?
I don't know, but I think you all heard me yesterday. Third time's a charm. We're going to show it Friday. And if it doesn't show, I won't be back Monday. So I'm like banking on that it for sure is going to show Friday.
So even if it's not the movie Hamilton, we're going to have Hamilton on the stage.
Some kind of
We
Hamilton.
might actually have the original Alexander
I mean-
Hamilton here. Might be easier.
We're going to get creative. Because
Brian is going to
you're
come
right.
dressed as Alexander Hamilton, and
I lost my wig. I did have it.
he lost his wig. He did have
He had
one.
a wig that he could have been Hamilton. So
We still got enough time. Friday is, 3 days.
I was going to say Amazon 2 days. It'll be
Okay.
here.
All right.
May not deliver it to your home, but they'll deliver it somewhere.
Brian, not that I
So-
don't want to see that happen, but I'm sure hoping that the movie goes to.
I'm sure hoping it plays on Friday. And don't forget, it's 2 o'clock, not 3 o'clock on Friday, because it's a very long movie. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Make sure you make extra popcorn.
absolutely.
Yeah, extra popcorn.
And
And
extra
you'll be able to
drinks.
see it better if you bring your glasses.
True,
Just
true
a
statement.
thought, just a thought.
That is a true statement.
I think somebody probably needed to hear that today. I don't know why they did, but.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Lisa, what
Okay.
do you do if you're a resident and you have a mask and your mask is kind of on the last stages?
It's getting a little rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've washed it 26 times and it's just not looking really good right now. What do you do, Lisa?
We have masks available at the front desk.
Okay.
So if your mask wears out, come on in, grab one at the front desk. Now, if you want a special one, because if you go on your computer and look up online, there's all kind of masks out there.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are looking for something, maybe it's a Carolina mask, maybe it's a Duke mask, Wake Forest, whatever it is, they make all kinds of masks now.
Yeah, they do. You can really get them
So
specialty.
you can look online if you're wanting something special that maybe we don't have. But,
That's right.
Our alterations lady, Valencia, who used to come out here every other week and do alterations for us, she's been making us some pretty cool masks.
Yes, yes.
So she's done a really great job with that. We've appreciated her service on that. So
If you wanted a Washington Redskins mask, that window's probably closing up for you.
well,
Yeah. A little too late for that one.
Yeah, probably so.
probably true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're right.
But everything else you can get.
You're right. But maybe you could find some closeout ones. Or
Oh, that's
something. I mean,
maybe so.
they might be trying to get rid of them, so could be out there. Okay, let's see. The next one, this was kind of a long one, so let's try to work through this one. When we start using the gate to the front entrance, which we all know that will be, I think, Tuesday next week is what we said,
Tuesday
the
next
28th.
week. 28th, that's correct. That's why you had the 28th in your mind.
That
Yes.
must be it. I understand that as a resident, I won't have to do the screening tool or the temp check there. Will I still get temp checked in the dining venue? So let me stop there for a second. Yes. So the temperature checking in the dining rooms will still continue.
Yes.
That's not changing. Do you use the screening tool in other ways? So that's a great question. So the screening tool we'll still be using for our staff and contractors. So anybody that's going outside of here and they're gone overnight, they don't live here.
Right.
Gone overnight, when they come in every day, they will still have the screening tool.
Right.
So those folks, like me, Tom, Ken, we won't have a fast pass on our car. So we'll have to pull into the John Knox Drive where the guardhouse is, gatehouse, and we'll get the screening tool given to us every day like we do now, but it's on links.
Right.
But now it's just going to switch over to the John Knox side.
Which I like to call the slow pass.
The
Slow pass, yeah.
Yes, that's a good point. But the screening tool, wondering why don't we need that for residents anymore?
Right.
So that was a good question as well. The screening tool really isn't giving us data. If you go out to a grocery store, hopefully you're wearing your mask because we've been preaching this, wear your mask, wash your
Education.
hands, and the social distance thing. Going out to the grocery store and coming back, that screening tool isn't capturing any information that's going to be helpful to us.
That's right.
That tool just doesn't do that for us. And to be honest, the screening tool really was even developed more for direct care staff.
Yeah.
That's really who that's trying to capture is information of employees that are providing direct care. That's our
right.
nurses, our CNAs, all of that. So the screening tool really is kind of it's kind of gone beyond the normal resident use now. But the temperature checks still are, that's an important piece
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
As we continue to evolve with this, our protocols change too.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at this point is that screening tool, we're not getting the information that we really need anymore. So we're kind of beyond that for the resident side. We may reach that with employees at some point.
Yeah.
But for right now, that's a good tool for us to use to gather data.
Right.
So just wanted to explain that a little bit. Now the screening tool, we still use those questions with residents that are going for overnight stays.
Yes.
So when you are leaving here, you turn in your absence form, and you're going on a trip. We're asking you, you call Cindy before you're doing any kind of overnight trips. You're going to the beach, the mountain, wherever you might be going, to run your trip past Cindy. We're going to ask you those questions. What kind of transportation are you using? Are you flying? Are you going on a cruise ship? Are you going on a bus, a train? We're going to ask you all those kind of things. So we still use those screening questions when we talk to you all about any overnight trips that you might have. And then when you come back, Cindy talks to you again, and just to make sure that your trip didn't change any. Maybe you ended up going to the beach and you had no intention of being in a large crowd or getting on a bus, but you ended up doing those kind of things. So then that helps her know, does this person need to quarantine, or are they safe to be around others in the community? Mm-hmm. So that's how we still do use the screening tool, the questions from that. So I just wanted to clarify a little bit of why that change in protocol there.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I think it was a good question.
It was.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yep.
That was our last question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We didn't have a lot since yesterday.
Now the big question is, what does Ken have for us today?
I hope he has a lot.
Oh.
No, I don't. Because look
Yeah.
at the time.
Well, here, let me just
Look
put
at
it
the
like this.
Time is funneling away.
Yes. Well, I have kind of a sad or a hard story to tell, but one that I think may help us think a little bit about the hard and sad time that we are in.
Right.
Yeah, and to think about how we get through it. So you may remember the name David Vetter, or you may not, because he was known more for his moniker, the Bubble Boy.
Oh.
And for 12 years of his life, he had this severe immune deficiency. Mm-hmm. And so he could not be exposed to anything at all. I mean, he had zero immune system. And so for all the 12 years of his life, he lived in a bubble. Mm-hmm. I mean, he lived in this antiseptic, sealed off thing with no human touch at all. And he lived that way for 12 years, and he suffered from depression and anxiety. And to all of our folks who are restricted more than they're accustomed to, who are experiencing some anxiety and depression, well, of course.
Sure.
I mean, that's our reaction to that kind of limitation.
Right.
But his was serious to the nth degree.
Right.
So NASA actually built a spacesuit for him to be able to go outside of his bubble and have at least some kind of human interaction. But he was so anxious when he wore it, he didn't want to wear it.
Wow.
He was still scared that he was going to catch something and die because he knew if he got exposed to anything, he'd be dead.
Wow.
But by the time the doctors were waiting to do a bone marrow transplant for him that they thought had the possibility of giving him an immune system that worked so he could have a relatively normal life.
Right.
But they were waiting for the perfect match. Well, by the time he was 12 years old, they had developed better techniques for that bone marrow transplant, and they thought his sister's bone marrow would be good enough, even though it wasn't a perfect match. So they asked him, did he want to go through with the surgery? And at 12 years old, knowing the risks, he said, yes, I want to do that because he wanted to live a normal life.
Sure.
Right? So they did the surgery not knowing that his sister's bone marrow had a dormant virus inside. The surgery was successful, but the virus soon gave way to hundreds of cancerous tumors in his body. So once that became apparent, they realized there was nothing they could do to save him. And so for the first time in his life, he came out of his bubble. For the first time in his life, he actually was able to touch his mother and kiss his mother. And for 2 weeks, he lived like that as a free human being, but then died. And, I was thinking after I reread that story, what David Vedder would say to people who refuse to wear a mask because it's too confining to their nose and mouth. I think he might laugh, like, you've got to be kidding me, right?
Right. That's what he's been through.
But then he would probably try to give them some perspective on what confinement really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing that I thought about was how the scale for all human beings about what is real living tends to shift depending on what we're experiencing. I've heard from some chaplains in some healthcare settings who say their residents are getting to the point, because they are really, really confined.
Yeah.
They're getting to the point where they're willing, like David Vedder, to take a risk to be with family, even though it could make them sick.
Right.
And I think, I would get there too.
Right.
Right.
For David Vedder, he did that for 12 years. We've done it for over 12 weeks. We may have to do it for 12 months. But eventually, all of us probably would get to that place where we would say, what I'm living with now is not really living.
Right.
And I want to touch people, and I want to be with people I love. And so all those things we're feeling on the inside. But the difference between David Vedder and us is David Vedder was making a decision just for his own health.
Right.
And we're having to make decisions for our health and our families.
That's right.
And our communities.
That's right.
But it is a powerful human dynamic about how we weigh the quality of our life versus the risks that we might have to face.
Yeah.
And boy, I am praying every day that we don't have to experience 12 years of confinement, that we find a vaccine,
Yes.
that we find a treatment that's going to work on this so that we can go back to a way of living that really seems like living to us.
Yeah.
And especially to our healthcare residents.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So join me in those prayers, will you?
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you are. And also prayers for all of us as we deal with the inner struggles of what it means to live this life and how do we live it to the fullest in difficult circumstances. Yeah.
That's great. I appreciate you sharing that. It's, I think about the human spirit and the ability to adapt, and but not everybody's capable of adapting to the environment that's around them and what's the cards that have been dealt to them, and so it's really hard. I mean, I get that. It's
people have done amazing things. I remember John McCain being a POW in Vietnam for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And so people, especially, and in that case, they depended on each other, those prisoners did, to help each other survive.
Yeah.
And we depend on each other to survive whatever it is that we're
That's right.
facing, because we can't do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
Nope.
And the reality is we will persevere through this. I mean,
Absolutely.
the human spirit will work through us, and we will persevere through this. But the hard part is having to live through the first part of this, which is the hard part, right?
It is.
But we'll get there. And I just maybe I have too much faith in our doctors and researchers, and just feel like that there's going to be. I keep wanting to say that, and I feel that we continue to see a little bit of positive in regards to a vaccine. So I think the next 6 months will be very telling. Because I really think that we'll know in 6 months whether or not they really have something they think is going to work or not. So I really think by the end of the calendar year we're going to know. But that's still five months out, right? So so we'll have to just see how that goes. But well, thank you, Ken.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Lisa.
Okay.
So we're not going to be on until next week. So you got lots of birthdays there,
So
right?
I have birthdays through Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, so happy birthday today to Julia Sandercock and Lacey Baines.
Okay. Happy
Very
birthday.
nice.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Let's see, I need to look this one up because I only put, a name. Okay, so Linda Taylor is Thursday.
Linda.
So, yes.
You had Taylor down there.
I did have Taylor.
So you had like the most important part, maybe, I guess. But
I just missed some of it. So Linda Taylor, happy birthday on Thursday.
happy birthday, Linda.
And then Friday is Carolyn Briggs, Ann Gray, and Connie Cook. And they have a special day because Friday's the day we're playing Hamilton. So that is going to be a really special day.
Yes.
And that's just for your birthdays. I'm sure it is.
And if we can't show it, we're going to send Brian over to your apartment
That's right.
to sing and
Yes.
dance for you.
Yes. Saturday is Jan Mansky. Sunday is Bob Amos, John Abernathy, and Nancy Gibbs.
Wow.
So
A lot of birthdays.
Yep, a lot of
Yeah.
birthdays.
Yeah.
And the staff birthday, since we just started that yesterday, I already forgot to write that on my agenda, but I brought the calendar.
Okay, good.
So today's date is the 21st.
Right?
So we have Eric Cazada. He's over in nursing. He's our dining mentor in healthcare. We have... I'm struggling
It's like
here.
a trombone, you know?
It's hard to see this. So I might need to pass this to Ken. Shakanda McLean, nursing.
Right.
We have James Cantor, who's in dining. A
Yeah.
lot of times you'll see him in the bistro. Randy Williamson, dining in the
Yeah.
bistro as
Yeah.
well, over in the grill area. On the 22nd, which would be tomorrow, Wednesday, Kathleen Curtis, who is in nursing, one of our nurses. Doris Thompson, who's also in nursing. Molly Parker, who's in dining in the
Yes.
bistro area. She's
Bistro,
been taking
Molly.
temperatures, so
Yeah.
you probably have seen her. And then, let's see, on Thursday, is Sydney Sparing, who's in public safety.
Yes.
Public safety, HR, wherever she's at. And then, let's see, the 26th, so that would be our last one for the week. That would be Sunday. Jermina Ilungu, and she's in nursing as well. So, and then we have some the next week, but we'll save those because I'm sure we'll be on next week.
I'm sure. And you'll
Yes.
have your glasses then, and it'll make it a lot easier.
Whew, this was rough. Okay.
I guess I could have offered to read those for you.
Well, you could have, but you didn't. So that's okay. That's okay.
Lisa, could you tell us all when you're driving home today? I'm just going to try to be off the road when you are.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I got here okay, so I'm sure it'll be fun getting home. Whew, okay.
Okay.
We're
Yes.
down to the trivia.
Yes.
Okay, and this is someone I don't think has won before, but I could
Okay.
be wrong. So the question was from Jim Kalaki. What is the capital of Australia? And the answer is Canberra. C-A-N-B as in boy, E-R-R-A. So I'm saying Canberra.
Canberra.
Does that sound right?
I think that's right.
Okay. So the winner is Mary Kay Gorbis. So congratulations.
Yeah.
I don't think she's won before, but I could
I
be
don't
wrong.
think so.
I could be wrong.
I don't remember that, but she may have.
And you will receive the bottle of wine,
Yes.
and Brian will deliver that to you unopened, and he'll deliver it straight to your apartment and hand it to you.
Or Hamilton will deliver it, one or the other.
One or the other. One or the other. But I promise it'll be heading your way.
All right. So Lisa, we've already mentioned that tomorrow is the scholarship ceremony.
Yes.
Thursday is the Bird
Bird Club.
Presentation.
Yes.
And then Friday, we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that we can show Hamilton.
Yes.
We've tested it. It's passed our testing.
It
So
has.
hopefully that'll happen.
Yep.
So, and then next week, we don't know yet which days we're going to be on.
Right.
We have to look at our calendar and
But
kind
we'll
of figure-
publicize what we're
That's
what
correct.
we're doing.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. So Ken, do you have a joke today?
I have a little short one.
Okay, go ahead.
This elderly couple died in a car accident and went to the pearly gates, and St. Peter let them in, and they're walking around the streets of gold, and everything is just unbelievably beautiful. And the man turns to the woman and says, you know, I could have been here 2 years ago if you hadn't fed me all that bran. Okay.
Now, is this how we're going to end the show, Tom?
No, he's going to redeem it. That's why I went first.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure I can read this. Lisa, will you read it?
No, it will not come out
It might
right.
be funnier.
It might be funnier.
I can see her now. 2.
By the time we get to the punchline, nobody will remember the beginning story.
Okay.
So,
All right, let's see. Good thing I had my brand this morning. Two judges were stumbling home from their local pub, arms around each other, loudly singing a Kenny Rogers songs. Hey, said one, I think we're drunk. You are right, and according to the law, I will have to charge you with being drunk and disorderly, said his mate. And you will have to appear before me at 10 a.m. tomorrow, said the first. Next morning in court, the first pleaded guilty to the charge and was fined $10. He then switched places. Drunk and disorderly, eh? You are fined $20. Hey, protested the first. When I was in the chair, I only fined you $10. Yes, said the second judge, but the offense is becoming too common. You're the second drunk to appear before the court this morning.
That's great.
Oh, that's a good one. Much better than the brand.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's purposely doing that. He's trying to make me feel good about my jokes, and so he's coming up with these really key ones. And so,
Well, you're succeeding. That's really good. That's a good.
he's a good chaplain.
That's a
My
good
chaplain
chaplain.
would be proud.
She sure would.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the show today. Please tune in at 3 o'clock tomorrow for the scholarship ceremony, and we just want you all to know how much we love you and we appreciate you. And stay cool out there, and have a great afternoon.